An NFL head coach is the true leader of a team, as he sets the vision for how the team should function year in and year out. The head coach calls plays, acts as the communication hub for assistant coaches on the team, and carries most of the workload for teams in preparing plays and schemes. However, like in all jobs that are in the national spotlight, there have been some wild and strange scandals that put an NFL coach in the media bubble for all the wrong reasons. Sometimes a scandal could be conducted off the football field, and shady actions can take place during practices, resulting in a toxic organization and ethical violations down the road. These scandals also hurt the reputation of these coaches, reputations that they have established throughout their years of coaching in the NFL and even in college. So today, we're going to explore 10 strange NFL coaching scandals that have occurred throughout the years and give our take on all of them. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Mike Vrabel and Diana Russini spotted at a Sedona, Arizona resort. Perhaps the most recent scandal that is still getting a ton of media coverage is New England Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel, who was photographed with sports journalist Diana Russini at the ambient Sedona resort in Sedona, Arizona. In the photo, Vrabel and Russini are seen holding hands, hugging, and sitting together in a hot tub on a private bungalow rooftop. Both of them have denied any romantic involvement with one another, but Russini's career has taken a bit of a hit. The Athletic, which is owned by the New York Times, launched an investigation into Russini's personal conduct, which resulted in her resigning from her position on April 14th of 2026. Both Vrabel and Russini are married to other people, with Vrabel married to his wife Jen Vrabel since 1999, while Russini's been married to Kevin Goldschmidt since 2020. Vrabel's career is still intact for now, but his actions off the field will be questioned moving forward during the 2026 season. Urban Meyer allegedly kicking the kicker. We could just make a list about all the scandals that Urban Meyer had during his short tenure as the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, from dancing with a younger woman at a bar in Cincinnati after the team lost a Thursday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals, to allegedly calling his assistant coaches losers and hiring Chris Doyle, who has faced multiple accusations of racism and bullying when he was an assistant coach with the Iowa Hawkeyes. However, one of the worst moments that was the straw that broke the camel's back in Meyer's disastrous tenure with the team was when he allegedly kicked place kicker Josh Lambo during a practice. Lambo accused Meyer of kicking him in the leg during warm-ups before the team's final preseason game, telling him to make your fucking kicks, a claim that detailed the 2021 Jaguars as a hostile work environment. The accusation Lambo brought up against Meyer ultimately led to his firing from the team, as the Jaguars also had a 2-11 record under Meyer's leadership. Lambo would go on to file a lawsuit against the Jaguars, alleging Meyer created a hostile work environment, and the team did nothing to stop it. Though Lambo's lawsuit was dismissed on November 16th of 2022. The napkin resignation. In the year 2000, then assistant head coach Bill Belichick was promoted to the head coaching job of the New York Jets after Bill Parcells stepped down and wanted him to take command of the team. However, Belichick's tenure as the team's head coach was very short-lived. In fact, he was their head coach for only one day. Belichick resigned from the job via a note on a napkin that said, "I resign as head coach of the New York Jets," then gave a half-hour speech on why he chose to resign. The abrupt resignation stemmed from Belichick's refusal to work under Jets owner Woody Johnson. Then, the New England Patriots named Belichick their head coach, even though the Jets and Parcells claimed that Belichick was under contract with the organization. Then, NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue forced the Patriots to give up a first-round pick to the Jets for Belichick's services. And the rest, well, the rest became history. Belichick transformed the Patriots into a super dynasty in the 2000s, while the Jets became a laughingstock for most of the 21st century so far. Spygate. As we mentioned earlier, Belichick transformed the New England Patriots into a winning juggernaut during his tenure. But this time with the Pats, well, it did have some dark moments. During the 2007 season, it was revealed to the world that the Patriots were filming opposing teams' signals during games from the sidelines. Eric Mangini, who was the head coach of the New York Jets and a former assistant coach under Belichick, reported the fact that the Patriots were taping from the sidelines to NFL security. It was also reported that the Patriots were filming 40 other games from 2000 to 2007. Belichick was fined for $500,000 for his role in Spygate, the largest fine issued to an NFL head coach, while the Patriots were fined $250,000 and were stripped of a first-round pick. The Patriots also had to turn over notes, tapes, and other materials related to the incident and threatened further discipline if they didn't comply. The NFL revealed that it received the requested materials and destroyed them. The destruction of the tapes would be criticized by then U.S. Senator Arlen Specter, who said to the New York Times, "I'm very concerned about the underlying facts on the taping, the reasons for the judgment on the limited penalties, and most of all, on the inexplicable destruction of the tapes," as he was concerned with the league's handling of the tapes, the integrity of the game, and the league's antitrust exemption. The Patriots ended up going 16-0 in the regular season that year, where they would lose Super Bowl 42 against the New York Giants, who were being led by Eli Manning and being coached by Tom Coughlin. Josh McDaniels walkthrough incident. During the 2010 season, then Broncos head coach Josh McDaniels was involved with a scandal nicknamed Spygate 2, or the walkthrough incident, as Steve Scarnicchio was caught filming the San Francisco 49ers 6-minute walkthrough practice. He presented the video to McDaniels, but he refused to watch it and told him that is not how an organization conducts business. The NFL did not take the scandal lightly, as they fined the Broncos and McDaniels $50,000 each. Scarnicchio was also involved in the Spygate scandal, as he worked for the New England Patriots during the 2000s. He would ultimately be fired by the Broncos for being a repeat offender of filming opposing teams during his time with the Pats. The NFL later determined that the incident was an isolated act, which didn't have a competitive effect for the Broncos, and it served more as an embarrassment during a losing season. McDaniels never ordered the filming and didn't watch it per an NFL investigation. Now, McDaniels would be fired from his position as head coach of the Broncos when they had a 3-9 record and the team finished the year with a 4-12 record. But it was not because he was caught filming opposing teams. Bountygate. Bountygate was one of the NFL's most notorious scandals from the late 2000s to the early 2010s, as then defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, Greg Williams, paid players to hit opposing players who had bounties on their heads, which, to nobody's surprise, is illegal in the NFL. If the player was knocked out of the game, Williams would pay a bonus to the defensive player who caused that hit. Roger Goodell and the NFL found that 22 of 27 defensive players on the Saints were involved with Bountygate. Linebacker Jonathan Vilma was alleged to have offered $10,000 in cash to anyone who knocked Brett Favre out of the NFC Championship game. As a result of the scandal, Saints head coach Sean Payton was suspended for 1 full season for not stopping the scandal under his watch. Greg Williams was suspended indefinitely and fired by the St. Louis Rams after the 2012 season after coaching a single defensive snap for him. And Vilma was suspended for the entire 2012 season. Then Saints general manager Mickey Loomis was suspended for 8 games. The Saints were fined $500,000 and lost second-round draft picks for the 2012 and 2013 NFL drafts. Williams would return to coaching in 2013 and had stints with the Tennessee Titans, St. Louis/Los Angeles Rams, Cleveland Browns, New York Jets, DC Defenders of the USFL/UFL, and was most recently the defensive coordinator for Tennessee State in 2025. Bobby Patrino's midnight departure. Patrino is renowned as a college coach, coaching teams like the Louisville Cardinals, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers throughout the years. Many of you probably forgotten that Patrino was actually briefly the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons in 2007. His brief tenure at the Falcons was a disaster, to say the least, as the team went 3-10 under his watch. His college-style discipline flopped in the NFL. He failed to find a true replacement for quarterback Michael Vick after his scandal, and he oversaw a ton of dysfunction during his time with the Falcons. He ultimately resigned from his duties as the Falcons head coach with just 3 games left in the regular season. How did he do this? Well, he left a 78-word note in the lockers of every player on the team, even though he originally signed a 5-year, $24 million contract in the prior offseason. Patrino would take the head coaching job at the University of Arkansas for the 2008 season. Hours before the controversial resignation, Patrino reportedly shook Falcons owner Arthur Blank's hand, saying, "You have a head coach." His cowardly exit was harshly criticized by players, assistant coaches, and the NFL. Then Falcons defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer called Patrino a gutless bastard and a coward years later. Patrino's exit was often referred to as a significant breach of professional ethics, as Blank prevented him from interviewing for the Arkansas Razorbacks head coaching job until he resigned to take the college coaching job himself. The John Gruden email leak. Gruden's return to coaching was a mixed bag, as he made very questionable moves and had underwhelming results during his time as the Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders head coach from 2018 to 2021. However, during the 2021 season, Gruden was caught up in an email scandal that showed that he used some homophobic and misogynistic language for 7 years before getting the Raiders head coaching job in 2018, following an investigation into the Washington football team for workplace misconduct. The emails revealed Gruden using homophobic language to insult Commissioner Roger Goodell, calling him clueless and anti-football. Gruden mocked Michael Sam, who was the first openly gay player to be drafted by a team in 2014, as well as using a racist trope to describe Damari Smith's lips. Nobody's surprised, Gruden resigned as the head coach of the Raiders in 2021, stating he didn't want to be a distraction. Gruden would later sue Goodell and the league, alleging that they were orchestrating a plan to destroy his career. A judge in Nevada denied the NFL's request to dismiss the case on May 25th of 2022. The Nevada Supreme Court upheld a lower court's ruling, allowing Gruden's case against the NFL to proceed with a trial date set for May 2027. Gruden has since worked for Barstool Sports since 2024 and revived his Gruden's QB class, which has become a huge success with the organization. Lane Kiffin's firing on the phone. One of the more bizarre scandals the NFL has dealt with was how Lane Kiffin was fired from the Oakland Raiders in 2008. Kiffin was the youngest head coach hired in the NFL, as he was 31 when he took the Raiders job back in 2007. However, Kiffin's tenure with the Raiders was a disaster, as the 2017 finished the year with a 4-12 record. Kiffin was fired by the late Al Davis on September 30th of 2008 due to intense power struggles, and having a 5-15 record during his tenure as head coach of the Silver and Black. Davis was known for not being patient with coaches, and after Kiffin was fired by Davis, he held a strange 90-minute press conference displaying a 3-page letter that he sent to Kiffin weeks earlier. During the conference, Davis referred to Kiffin as a con man and a flat-out liar, and called the firing for cause, as it was a way to avoid paying the remaining $2.6 million in salary money at the time. Kiffin filed a grievance to recover his unpaid salary in 2010, but an arbitrator ruled in favor of the Raiders. Sal Alosi's sideline trip. Sal Alosi's sideline trip scandal took place during the 2010 season with Rex Ryan's New York Jets, who were squaring off against the Miami Dolphins, where the Jets ultimately lost the game 10-6. Alosi, who was the Jets' strength and conditioning coach, intentionally tripped Nolan Carroll as he ran down the sidelines during a punt return. This act was condemned and regarded as a competitive violation and a dangerous tactic. The league investigated the incident and found out that Alosi ordered 5 inactive players to form a wall to impede opposing players. Alosi was suspended indefinitely for the rest of the 2010 season and was fined $25,000, and the Jets were fined $100,000. After he resigned from the Jets in January of 2011, he took on the strength and conditioning jobs with Bryant University, UCLA, and UConn from 2011 to 2020, respectively. But what do you think was the strangest coaching scandal in the NFL? What do you think we should have included on our list here? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.